This is Hyde's Lanes, week number 9, the BPA King of Bowling, 12 beautiful Brunswick lanes, and we have a very nice crowd here today on our 9th Sunday of the BPA this week. And Dave Newrath and Sam Coleman, we're winding down to that championship up in Glenmore Lanes 3 weeks from now, actually a month from now. Taking a look right now at Mike Whalin. We saw Mike Whalin, 32-year-old bowler from Cincinnati, way back on week number 1 at Princeton Bowl. This is his first ball.
Oh, no.
Delayed action, but first ball on week number 9 is a big X for Mr. Whalin.
What an incredible way to start. For a moment there, he had the 3, 9, 7 standing, and then no more.
You're looking right now at a first-timer this year on the tour, a former previous king, Jim Massie. Jim was 5th in qualifying last week, and because Rick Hensley had another commitment today, he was moved up to the bowling spot. And I talked to Jim beforehand, and he said he's not sorry he was. He enjoys the BPA. He's 5 times he's been on it, 1 time as its king. 23-year-old UC graduate student in pre-med, Jim Massie.
Jim has been in the game for quite a while, even though he's in early age. But the nicest thing about Jim that I like as a person is the fact that he is out every week. Tom, he's supporting the BPA, he's supporting BPA-sponsored events. He realizes that the only way to get better is to bowl a lot, and this young man will go out and throw the games.
Massie carries in a 2-teen average, bowls in 3 different leagues, holding 221, 220, and 212 average. Second frame, week number 9, and clears the rack right there, Dave.
Hacksaw job on the rack is right. Excellent shot to open the match up. First frame a little high, that one perfect. Mike Whalin has got no easy time of it this game, Sam.
You're right. Today we're at Green Hills qualifying, and the leaders are Steve Harthung, 761, Terry Ciccone, 746, and Tim Sharp, 742. And how about Caroline Hoffman, 714?
714. Those scores in the women get higher and higher every week. Mike Whalin, a little body anglish, takes down all 10 of them here in the second frame. So back-to-back strikes for Whalin. You might remember Whalin. He was, we only saw him briefly. Actually, it was the first match of the year when he took out Ray Gomez Perez here, 258 to 240. Now, you might remember that Whalin that day came in looking very tired because he was up all night. His son, unfortunately, spent most of the night in the hospital. We understand that his son is okay right now, though. He eventually lost to John Combs, who eventually lost to the king in week number 1, Alan Downs. But this is Mike Whalin in week number 9 here at Hyde's Lanes on Cheviot Road.
Look at that ball.
Brings that ball across it. Whalin's got them dancing today, Dave.
What an excellent shot. Tom, we can pick it up here on the replay. Just how much of the lane is this man using? All of it. Throws it out to about the 3rd board and then lets it hook back in. Incredible power. Head pin to the wall, coming off, carrying him out. Jim Massie has got his hands full.
Well, look at that.
True to the challenge.
True.
Nobody's hit the pocket flush yet.
Let them light and let them fight, I guess, huh? Oh, we have a couple of representatives from Hudepohl here. Lee Ritter, Ken Rippinger, and Bob Casey today.
It's always nice to have the folks who sponsor this out.
Certainly.
Day's starting to get nicer and nicer. I think back to that first week up in Princeton Bowl when it was about 30 below, and now you look out. Oh,
look at this, another one.
Using them off the left wall. Plays the carom very nicely, Dave.
No one can accuse Hyde's Lanes of having dead pins, that's for sure. We can check it out here on the replay. Center your screen, watch the head pin. It's going to go to the left wall, right there. It's going to the wall, come off, wedge itself in between the 4, take out the 7, and the neck of it, take out the 8. If that isn't overtime, Tom, I don't know what is.
Getting the most mileage out of those pins. 4th frame for Mike Whalin, working on 3 straight strikes. I was going to say turkey, but I'm not going to call Mike
Look
Whalin
at that.
Turkey. How about that?
Tom, this is incredible. We're seeing a real exhibition here of textbook bowling off the edge.
Yeah, Mike has all 4 of them, and Jim Massie has a spare and a 3-bagger, so there's only missed 1 strike so far. Look like it's going to be a beautiful day here today.
4th frame. We don't talk 300 games, but if we were, this man has 12 of them to his credit. Mike Whalin. Of course, in addition to that, he's got 8 800 series, so we're not talking your average run-of-the-mill bowler. He also brings a 214 average into this. The 9th week here in the BPA. Still waiting for Dave Neurath to come out of retirement and appear on this. Oh, the 10-pin dances, but does not go down.
Tom, what an incredible way to come off of a string. We've seen hacksaw racks, we've seen rip racks and wallies. Now we just saw a bad break on probably the best shot he's thrown of the match. You're waiting for me? Don't hold your breath. I'm doing the best I can, Tom.
That's right. They're going to have the Easter Bunny here today, too, you know. So the kids better come over and see the Easter Bunny. She'll be here early today.
Well,
she?
Yes, she, yeah.
She? Well,
we got to stick around.
All right, I know. Whalin picks up the 10 here in the 5th frame.
Well, next week we go out to Milford for qualifying, starting at 9 a.m. They're going to put a 4:30 shift on both days. We'll see Jay Benz out there. Next week we go to Green Hills. We'll see Dave Grosser.
Jim Massie, you're looking at him in the 5th frame. First time in the BPA this year, the 7 has ideas and it finally falls. And Massie says, yes, finally.
Let's take a look at this one on the replay. It's what we call the late 7. It's actually where the ball deflects a little to the right, just catches the 5-pin. The 5-pin goes just in front. Now watch the center of your screen, the action we're going to see. There's a 5-pin just now being hit. Leans into the 7, push on it, catch it there.
Massie in the 6th. Oh, boy, he's hot. A spare in the 1st and then nothing but X's. 5 of them right down the middle.
Sam, I'll tell you what, this is unique. Out of all the strikes we've seen so early in today's show, only one has been a flush pocket shot. The rest of them have been shakers, wallies. That's incredible. It says a lot for the action that these boys are putting on the ball.
That's right. Always heard, if you hit them light, let them fight, you'll win.
Hit them thin to win, right?
That's right. Certainly.
I heard that somewhere.
Have you? Really?
Pulling the sayings out of the bowling archives. Dave Neurath and Sam Coleman. Here's Mike Whalin bringing it in big time. And the dance 7-pin.
Hey, are we seeing a show? Anybody that misses this game, I pity them, because this is the greatest game of the year so far with variety of strikes.
And then the winner of this, whoever that may be at this point, meets a familiar face, 8-time member of the BPA this year, 3 times its king, Ray Tucky Perez. The winner there goes on to meet the king, George Barlow. To borrow a Dave Neurath line, do not go to the refrigerator yet.
Unbelievable. This is great.
Mike Whalin in the 7th frame, working off a strike.
Got that ball in.
Leaves
you
2 pin.
It's kind of easy to see, even though our angle isn't the best from right here. You could see if the ball isn't hanging in the gutter, it's not going to get back. Mike Whalin here on the replay knows he didn't trust it. Right there, he knows it's going to go high. That big hook of his, the reaction is, could have been worse.
4-7, and it's his game. So a spare for Mike Whalin, 7th frame.
This man, Jim Massie, right lane, is comfortable on both lanes. He's freewheeling, Tom. He's not uptight. He's not trying to fit the ball up in the pocket. He's just throwing it and letting it roll, and that's the ticket.
Oh.
There it is. No one standing after that one. Sam?
Well, Jim has, Massie has a spare in 6 in a row, and so he's technically about 21 pins up on Mike Whalin. And they're throwing the X's today.
Said week number 9, we've had 5 kings this year. Is that a high level,
5
Dave?
kings,
5
I'd love that.
We're playing poker.
It's liable to get you a shot.
It sure will.
Did not throw that ball well at all. He dropped his thumb right into the floor, caused the ball to spin out, and just was not, that ball had no chance, Tommy.
And he knew it. He knew it when he threw it.
Yep.
Do you play the mini pocket here, Dave, or
Oh,
you just
sure.
hit them flush?
Sure. Well, ideally, you try to put the ball in between the 2 and the 5, let the 2 carry them into the 4, but, oh, I've seen this made almost every way except that way. Not enough of the 2-pin.
Little too wide, right. So after 6 straight strikes, Jim Massie has an open frame here in the 8th. Pretty much opens the door for Mike Whalin, who has nothing but strikes and spares.
Situation's this, Tom. If Mike Whalin should strike in the 8th and 9th frames, he will take the lead.
He knows what he has to do, and we've seen him score in week number 1 with that 258 game against Tucky Perez. We know he could drop the pins.
That's in the area.
He knew it. He knew it. He pulled the fist back, and he said, "It's mine."
Let's take a look at it here on the replay. Let's see if we can watch the reaction of Mike Whalin. Does he like it? The pins like it. Look at that head pin going to the wall, taking out the 10-pin. Last one down, Mike Whalin. This shot will take the lead.
The part that impressed me the most the first time we saw Whalin is that stoic look on his face. He never really seems to be affected emotionally in a match. And I guess in a game like bowling, where it's won from the neck up, you almost have to be that way. Can't be riled by an open frame, and Mike has not seen an open frame in this match. And there's the strike, and he knew it.
How about that reaction?
How about that is right.
Throw that stoic look in the can. I want this one.
Yeah, that puts him up by 4 now. Out in the ABC area, we have Dave Whalin shot 1929 in the all event, had a 630, 597, and a 702 in the singles.
Whoa.
How about that?
That'll get him a few bucks.
I certainly will.
Jim Massie nips the pocket and puts all 10 down. 7 a little slow going down.
That it was.
Well, Mike Whalin has 169 and a double, and Jim Massie has 195, and Mike Whalin's up by 6 technically. So Jim Massie's going to have to get this strike right here.
In order to force Mike Whalin to strike on his first ball in the 10th, Jim Massie needs this. That was an excellent shot in the 9th frame, setting it up. Must strike to put any pressure on him.
Oh, I think he heard the words of Dave Newrath. 23-year-old Jim Massie.
Tom, that was a super shot. He needed it. He knows it. What's he do? He just rips a rack in half. Mike Whalin's on the ropes.
Well, Massie can get 255. He goes out, and Whalin get 259.
Scores have been incredible, Sam, this year.
Super, super. We're averaging 214, which is super.
It's not
Tucky's
too
averaging 227.
Oh, a little bit of a delayed reaction on his part, but Massie knew he had it.
He can get 255 with one more, and Whalin can get 259, so it's going to be really interesting here yet.
If you tuned in late, Jim Massie not supposed to be with us this week. Rick Hensley had qualified with the 674, but Massie steps in because Hensley had another commitment today. So, Jim Massie out with a 253. Mike Whalin knows what he has to do, Dave.
Not a bad way to open the match.
Oh,
Tommy.
quite.
Really?
Whalin, I guess it's pretty much X's from here, Dave.
Well, he's done exactly what he had to do. I'm talking about Jim Massie now. Mike Whalin's case is kind of clear-cut. Needs to throw 2 strikes to win.
You'd never know it by looking at him. He looks the same way he does, or he did in the first frame. This is the 10th frame for Mike Whalin. Off 2 strikes. He needs 2 more.
Oh,
and the 7-pin wasn't even touched.
Oh.
So Mike Whalin's going to finish high, but not high enough, because Jim Massie has emerged the winner in game number 1, Sam.
He's got 253, Massie, and Mike Whalin with a spare and a strike will get 238. That's a hard way to lose.
Boy, it is.
Mike is a super competitor. Obviously, he'll be back. We'll be looking for him in the finals, but he threw a great shot there when it had to be thrown. A lot of times you see a dead 7, but that was not. The pin just jumped into the channel. Instead of laying there or the neck coming up and wrapping it out, somehow it got around there, Tom. Just a bad break.
I guess, Dave, what goes around comes around, because Whalin beat Tucky Perez 258 to 240 as he strikes out here. But when you roll 240 and still lose, you have to know what it feels like. So right there, he rolls a 238. And Jim Massie is the winner of game number 1 here in week 9. He will go on to meet maybe the hottest bowler on the tour, Ray Tucky Perez, in game 2. That's Jim Massie right there.